BNC, 100% black and brown host around the clock. Finally, news that speaks to us.
Joining us now, Atiba Madyun. He's the president and founder of Party Politics US, and attorney Mark Harris, director of pre-law studies at UC Merced Management and Business Economics School. Welcome to you both, gentlemen. Mark, let's start with you. You've served in the federal government in a variety of economic positions, and what is your take on where to place the blame for the rise in gas prices?
My take is that we're being took, if I can. My take is that we're being taken. I mean, 18 cents relative to the federal tax doesn't even begin to cover the pain that Americans are going through, particularly African Americans at the pump. At the Beverly Center in Los Angeles over this weekend, premium gas was selling for $7.55 a gallon. And just like Dr. Malveaux said, it's sticky. When it goes up, it's very difficult for it to come down. When you interviewed the owner of the gas station, he said, hey, if we post it, they'll pay it. We're going to keep charging what people will pay. We need more regulation to prevent gouging.
So, Atiba, to Mark's point and Dr. Julian Malveaux, who's doing the taking? Is it big oil, or is it the Republicans, or is it the Democrats, or is it all of the above?
It's big oil. I mean, if you look at, I think it was over $100 billion profit last year. You look at the companies here, $40-some billion profit last year. We know where the money, where it's going. Mark just hit on it. This is going to continue to happen without any regulation. We talked about this morning on DC Today, the fact that, regulation, when we look back at what the banks, the airlines, the automobile industry, when they came to DC back in 2008 and were forced to testify before Congress, they said, if you don't regulate us, this is what's going to happen. This is what's happening right now. So the price gouging, whether or not it's from gas station owners, as Mark alluded to, the fact that if they put the price up, that's what the consumer is going to pay, because guess what? People need to pay gas to be able to go to work. People need to be able to pay for gas to be able to go pick up their children. So all of this is all connected. They recognize that our addiction to oil is there and that we have to pay for it. But what we're seeing here is opportunistic from their standpoint. We saw what happened during the pandemic and how the prices of gas came down. The demand was down. Now they see that the demand is still up. They see what's going on in Russia. It's just another opportunity for them to line their pockets.
And the supply is there. The United States has been a net exporter of petroleum and natural gas this entire last year. And we have plenty of production we can increase here at home. So, Mark, what are the tools that the Biden administration has right now to help Americans at the pump?
Atiba hit on them. I mean, we're talking about regulation. I know people don't like the R word, particularly the libertarians among your viewers. But sometimes you need the government to step in and say, no, this is wrong. There's no reason that the so-called national average of $4.20, maybe you can get that somewhere in the country that I haven't visited. Maybe Atiba hadn't been there either. But I'm here to tell you, I can't get gas for $4.20 in California, and particularly not in the San Francisco Bay Area or in Los Angeles. So we need regulation. We need to stop treating these oil companies as though they're too big to fail, and we need to do the right thing on behalf of the American people.
Atiba, Mark's making some very good statements about this, and the fact of the matter is there is a war going on, and if we're not careful, Russia will try to draw us into that invasion upon Ukraine. And it is impacting gas prices here at home, regardless of how people look at it. But the bottom line is, as both of you have already stated, there is some gouging going on and some opportunistic leveraging that big oil is doing. Can the President of the United States order these companies to stand down and do the right thing in order to help the American people at the pump while we're still keeping our eye on the conflagration going on in Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah, so Kelly, I'm going to kind of start with this. Having conversations yesterday with a friend from Moldova, getting a text message today from a friend in Hungary who's talking about that they're very restless there. There's fear there. So this fear that we continue to see now that's spreading across Eastern Europe, that fear is coming here. And for me, as someone who's a student of history, to look back at World War II, we stood on the sidelines for a long time before we got pulled in when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. What we often don't talk about is the reason why Japan bombed Pearl Harbor was because we were keeping them from being able to get their iron and their metals out through trade. So what we're doing now is what? We're trying to squeeze Russia. Russia is going to pull us in one way or the other. That bombing today that happened at that maternity hospital, they're going to pull us in. It's not a matter of if, it's when, because Putin is not going to stop until someone stops him. Otherwise, we're going to see him spread his way all the way through Eastern Europe, the same way that we saw Hitler do during World War II. So that's the historical aspect of it. What we're looking at right now in terms of how this is affecting us at the pump and how this is affecting our pockets, it's not going to just be gas prices. We're going to see an increase in groceries. We're going to see an increase in traveling by plane. We're going to see increases all the way across the board. So we're all going to feel the pinch. That's what the president was trying to prepare us for in his comments before Russia went into Ukraine. But all of this is a global calamity that's happening. And we're still not really talking much about what Israel is doing now in Palestine or what China could possibly do with Taiwan.
Well, President Biden did call it Putin's price hike. That's an indicator of what messaging the Democrats will be taking into the midterm elections about gas prices. Blame him on Putin. Atiba Madyun, president and founder of Party Politics US, and attorney Mark Harris, director of pre-law studies at UC Merced School of Management and Business. Thank you both for joining us.